My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the chart for Robert Redford, um, actor, producer, director, environmentalist. Using Vedic sidereal zodiac, if you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Pisces rising at 6 degrees. First we're going to look and see how the planets are operating, and then when they're operating during certain events in his life, and then what could be done to strengthen the chart. So first we have Sun, any multicona sign, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11, that's in the Dustana or challenging houses, 6, 8, or 12, uh, can cause challenges either by aspect, either in the natal or transit chart. So Sun is ruling the house of health, and he did have polio when he was 11 and liver cancer later in his life. And then we have weak placement, old moon. Moon. Now, Sun is also an indicator of leadership. He was definitely a leader in the environmental movement as well as supporting independent films and a lead actor in many, many films. We have weak placement, Old Moon, entertainment. It's ruling the house of creativity and entertainment for the public. Moon is public. And the fifth house that Moon rules is also the house of children. So he did have loss of children. Baby died of SIDS and had issues with his other children. Then we have weak, debilitated Mars ruling the second house of wealth and fame through entertainment, baseball, through his Mars's indicator for passion and sports. Baseball was there. And then it also has to do with the stability of his marriage. And he did have multiple marriages. And also Mars being in that house of children, there was some loss of children. Moon is the dispositor. Um, then we have weak placement Mercury. It's conjunct Moon. Mercury rules the house of partnerships. He had partnerships in with the public in environment and independent films, and also, again, multiple marriages because of its weakness. Then Jupiter is at probably the strongest planet. It's ruling the career house, which he had a great career through entertainment, environmental causes, he did have some political setbacks, and then children issues from time to time if uh, Jupiter was afflicted at those times in the transit chart. Then we have challenging Venus. Venus is ruling the house of vulnerability, vulnerability in health and relationships. Venus is also indicator of wife. He was a painter. Venus has to do with the arts. He was an actor. Then we have challenging Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of the 12th house. Um, and this gives him an introverted personality, spiritual growth through philanthropy. He had supported many, many causes. Um, he did have some addictions. He was an alcoholic, and but very much involved in philanthropy. Then you have challenging Rahu and Ketu. Um, in this case, K2 in the fourth, Rahu in the 10th, balancing, learning to balance home and work life. And because K2 and Rahu are very close to the rising sign, they're at 9 degrees and the rising is 6. Um, they can afflict 6 out of his 12 houses. The fourth house of home life, multiple marriages, the 10th house of career, giving some up and downs and setbacks, second house of marriage, multiple marriages again, sixth house of health, some health issues, eighth house of traumatic events, loss of child, and 12th house of uh, addictions and losses. Let's look at the timing of events. He was born in a Venus period, which gives him that um, ability to be an artist, actor, director. And then in 47, when he was 11, he was diagnosed with polio during a sun period, sun ruling the house of health. In 58, he got married during a Venus period. Venus is wife. 59, he lost a baby um, due to SIDS during a Venus period. Venus is ruling the house of death-like experiences. In 70, one of his famous films, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, during a Rahu period, Rahu in the house of career, boosting his career. In 80, he got Best Director for Ordinary People during a Jupiter period, again boosting his career, ruling the house of career. In 92, he got a divorce during a Saturn period, Saturn ruling the house of loss. In 99, he was diagnosed with liver cancer, had a transplant during a Saturn period, Saturn ruling the house of hospitalization and surgery. In '02, he got an Oscar during a Venus period, Venus Entertainment. Uh, 2020, his son died, Moon period. K2 was afflicting Moon. And then he passed away himself in uh, 2025, September 16th, during a Jupiter period. Transit Jupiter afflicted transit Rahu was afflicting Jupiter, uh, and uh, and it was also Rahu was afflicting natal Saturn. Saturn is indicated for longevity, and this was happening in the 12th house of endings, end of life. And then natal Sun was afflicting transit Venus in the sixth house of health. So, what could be done to strengthen the chart? He was already involved in a lot of philanthropy and charity work. So, this was transforming Rahu, Ketu, Sun, and Venus, as well as Saturn. So, he did have a long life. He um, was 89 years old. And then also, um, other his benefic planets could have been strengthened. My favorite remedy, Kavash, which is a silver locket containing the Devata yantras and mantras for his benefic planets. If you'd like to get a Kavash or get a reading or learn Vedic astrology, you can go to vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening.